Okay, so this backtesting session is going to focus primarily on just heavy news days. I want to see how my model works with the big three, FOMC, CPI, and NFP days. So I'll be trading after news events happen. I'm not going to be trading before. So for instance, NFP releases at 8:30 a.m. on the first Friday of every month. I won't be trading prior to 8:30. I'm going to remain following my trading plan, which is trade after 9:30 open. But I typically do not trade the big three, CPI, FOMC, or NFP, with a live account. So I'm going to test how my model works and see, is it viable? Is it something that I should maybe entertain? Would be trading on these heavy news days. After the news gets released, price kind of calms down. I want to see, how probable my model is to play out. So that's what we're doing here today. We're gonna just trade those three days each month, and we're starting, December of 2020. So here we go. Just gonna find the next news event. So here we have PMI, FOMC minutes. All right, NFP the 8th. We are on, okay, so okay. So NFP got released. We're bullish. We are for sure bullish. So that is our bias on the higher time frame. We're looking for bullishness. Does NFP give us anything to work with? One thing I'll say is that we are at all-time highs, it looks like. So we are at all-time highs. So an inversion setup is something I would entertain here, potentially, just because we're at all-time highs. As you can see, NFP did not do much for us. I don't love this choppy price action. So realistically, if I got maybe a sweep of the buy side to come for the sell side, I would take that. But nothing here is intriguing for a buy. Okay, let's back this up just because I would have, this is a nice entry here, right here. We'll see how this plays. I gotta put my stop all the way above that high. I would be targeting these lows here. Yeah, that's clean. 1 to 1.7, realistically, you can target all the way down here is kind of pushing it for me personally, but it's something that we could trade into if we were going to inverse here. So understand that these are obviously higher risk trades. It's just a higher risk environment, okay? That's why I don't live trade these news events. However, I'm willing to, give it a shot here through backtesting, see how viable they are, like I said. So they are going to be higher risk environments. I'm assuming my my win rate is going to be lower than it normally is, because I'm trading these days. This in particular is high risk because I'm now inversing, which I'm okay with doing because we're at all-time highs. But we are also inversing on an NFP day. So okay, took us out. Kept those lows there, which was a little unfortunate because I feel like we are going to come for those. Might be a decent re-entry here. Boom. Boom. Okay. Well, 1 to 1.6 is tough for me. Like, definitely at the very least would have broke even. So let's just pretend I broke even here. Because I'm telling you right now, I was just hoping it continued lower. I really was. But realistically, this is the way I'm managing this trade, is just break even. It's a 1 to 1.68. It's right on the cusp of, you know, potentially taking partials on something like that, but the risk reward is already so finite. Like, I'd rather not. Let's see the reason it bounced from that area. It doesn't look like anything in particular. Right, I was hoping it just came for these equal lows here. But yeah, all right. So we'll take the L on this first one here. It was a loss on the first sell and then a break even on the second. Arguably, you know, you take profit on take partial profit on the second one. It's just tough because, again, like I said, the risk reward I was aiming for was a 1 to 1.68, right? I tend to, unless it's a 1 to 1.7, where again it was right on the cusp there, I tend to not take partials. I'll just put my stop loss to break even because the final take profit is already so tiny that I don't really feel like taking partials. But it's fine. So let's find the next day here. We got CPI coming up. All right. This is Monday. CPI is on Wednesday. Boom, boom. All right. So CPI came out. Still bullish. Inside a higher time frame PD array right there. So that was the CPI candle, huh? That's interesting. Not really much of a opportunity here with my model. You can argue this for sure. But we're bullish. Equal high above. Not the biggest fan of this, obviously, if I'm bullish. We're trading inside of a higher time frame PD array. And then if you go to the 15-minute, we do have a sweep here. Continuation higher. Coming back into, you know, fair value gap here, potentially. You know, 15-minute. But that's a tough one for me. It is. I will not eat. I don't think I would have taken that, so. As much as I wanted it to give me an opportunity to come and take these highs, it didn't. It came for him, but without me, which is fine. So very choppy after news got released. Okay, next news event. Thursday, okay, Friday. Nothing crazy on this Friday. It looks like there's a lot, but nah. Okay, nothing for the next 2 weeks as far as heavy news. Wow. Biden was speaking a lot here, huh? My God. Okay. All right, FOMC on Wednesday, January 27th. One more, okay. So we have to wait until the afternoon to get the numbers here. It's going to be a two-part news event like FOMC always is. Still bullish. Also, gotta understand where all-time highs too. Okay, let's go to the PM session. Check, sort of, chopped around prior to that. I'm assuming I don't know. Let's wait and see. Okay, FOMC going lower here. Nothing crazy though, like these moves off the news are not really. Alright, so we're sweeping. Right. This is the current trading range that we're in on the 4 hour. On the daily, we are inside of a PD array, bullish PD array, fair value gap here. On the weekly, I would assume we're also inside. No, we're filling one in. Okay. I'm looking for bullishness here. I'm okay with looking for bullishness. So just got to give me distribution, and you got me. You got me. This is enough for me, in my opinion. Alright, fair enough. Continued lower. Nothing for me here then. Continue. What is this? Nothing. Wish there was a way to go just to the next news event. Go to, oh, fantastic, but it's fine. Yeah, we have to wait until custom settings. Next news event, no, can't change that. All right. Go to next news event. Go to next news event. So, cool. All right, NFB. Continuing our push upwards at all-time highs once again. So I want to be bullish here, honestly, right? Simple analysis there. All right. So news already came out at 8:30. Again, did literally nothing. I don't know. I guess NFP, CPI, FOMC were not that important in 2020, end of 2020, beginning of 2021. But these moves are very, very like, the news might as well not even like be there. Like, that was NFP news candlestick. Okay. Let's see. Can we sweep below here? Beautiful. This is something I'm willing to take. Traded inside of here as well. didn't really give me anything to enter off of yet. Something to consider here, I probably would, boom, like this. That's a fine target for me, to be honest. Okay, got taken out. Let's see where we end up going. Oh, we just continue lower. Fair enough. Fair play. Yeah, no, I followed my trading plan there. I mean, obviously we're bullish. Like, we're at all-time highs on the weekly, the daily, the monthly. There's nothing to suggest that we should be going lower. Obviously, we're going to have down days, but you know, the analysis was very easy to be bullish on. Of course, you can argue, oh, we're overbought, we're oversold, whatever. I'm not going to not take a trade because we're overbought. I mean, if that's the case, you wouldn't have bought the whole way up here. You would have had a hard time buying all the way up here. So, you know, good confluence, not a good enough reason for me not to enter, right? But again, all the rules were followed. We got a sweep. We tapped into a higher time frame PD array, which albeit wasn't like an A+ PD array, right? It had already been tapped into. You know, it is what it is. There's a low underneath it, whatever. But it's still presented itself. Yeah. As you can see, we ended up making our way higher to where we wanted to go. I'd be interested to see if there was an entry. It was very, very choppy here, though. No entry yet. If I go to the 2 minute, maybe. No, because we don't have a break of structure there. Break structure in the 1 minute though, but nothing. Here would have been the first opportunity for me to really get in. The question would be, do I really put this all the way down here? I don't know if that would have been the case. I would have to see, honestly. It might have been the case. I won't lie to you. It just depends on how much risk reward I would have gotten for, you know, this or this. 1 to 1.3 is okay to me. 1 to 1.8 is obviously okay to me. But to be completely honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if I would have put the stop loss underneath this low, right? In that case, we're getting stopped out. So, you know, just a choppy day, but we're trading during heavy news events, or not during, after them, but during the day where they're occurring. So obviously we're taking on a bit more risk. It's not going well right now. That's okay. I'm here to figure out whether or not it will go well in the future. You know, we're testing it, because last week I took 2 demo trades for NFP and FOMC. They occurred, it was a 2-for-1 week. So I couldn't trade on a live too much, right? Because I can only trade on a live from Monday through Wednesday morning. If it's NFP week, I won't trade Thursday before NFP, and I won't trade NFP the day of. But we also had FOMC, so that meant I couldn't trade Wednesday either. So I only had Monday, Tuesday to live trade. Perfectly fine. But I figured, let me just hop on the charts. Let's see what I can do, you know, because the rest of the week I can't trade. Let's do some demo trading. And I went for 2 for 2 on my trades for FOMC and NFP. So that's why we're doing this, because I just want to see, like, is that something I could take advantage of, or was that a bit of luck involved? I don't think there was too much luck involved, but probability-wise, are they high? Well, if I judging it based off of just last week, I went 2 for 2. So yes, they're high. I need to see on a longer time frame, would the probabilities be high? So far, no. Okay, you can see we've taken 3 trades, 2 losses, 1 break even. Okay, so let's see what we continue to find here. So it's Friday. All right, CPI is Wednesday. Just keep inching higher. That's what we're doing. All-time highs still. The way this chops up is crazy to me. This is the this is really the CPI candle there. Did a nice job of sweeping coming into a PD array. Nice. I mean, that's solid. It happened too early. I'm not getting in during news, but this is nice. We finally have like an easy data high that we can potentially trade back into. We got a sweep. We have distribution, obviously. Now I got to be very careful with my risk reward here, how I manage this. But data high would be 1. All right, lowest risk reward I go is a 1-to-1. So data high would be this is tough, man, because like I want this to be a partial or a break even, but it's too early on in the trade for it to be a break even, and likewise with a partial. So that makes it tough. I won't lie to you. Now, could I wait for this to sweep, come into here, and then look for a lower time frame sweep or a lower time frame entry? Absolutely. I'm gonna see how this plays, because it does fit my model, right? Sweep, distribution. The distribution leg happens to be CPI. We're about to get another sweep if we enter into here. Target the data highs from CPI. Those should be a magnet. Now it's up to price if we want to go up to here. All right, continue. Look at the good thing I gave it breathing room, bro. Look at this price action after, right? I also just realized I did enter prior to 9:30, so I actually broke a rule there. I got ahead of myself. I did get ahead of myself. Let's just continue to see how this goes. I did get ahead of myself though. So, all right. We ended up breaking down. Yeah, I didn't even account for the fact that it wasn't 9:30 yet. I got in, it entered me in at 9:20. But yeah, look at that. All right, again, not ideal price action, okay? I'm here to find that out, and we're finding it out right now. It does not look like I should be trading these days. At least in 2021, it does not look like it treated you nicely. It did come back for the data highs, so that was a magnet. I wish I had a better risk reward to just target those, but I didn't. All right, we keep going. Nothing crazy. Is this the same? Okay, NFP on Friday, March 5th. Okay, NFP. So we made some movement there in between. Let's just see. Monthly, okay, monthly is trading back into a fair value gap. That's important to note. So bullish on the monthly. Weekly, we've swept some liquidity. So longer term, we should go higher. We actually haven't broken structure yet. This candle would have to close, which it's about to, but it would have to close below these lows here for structure to be broken and for us to be bearish on the weekly. So we're technically still bullish on the weekly. This is tougher to find your bias because we're bullish on the monthly, we're bullish on the weekly, and we're bearish on the daily. All right. So let's just see what NFP gave us. So the current trading range on the hourly is this. We're inside a discount, or excuse me, a premium. Traded back into a fair value gap, swept. Was that the data low? Yeah, okay. So this is the data low. Could it be a potential magnet? When I say data low, I mean news data gets released. The candle during that time frame, it's low or it's high, is usually a magnet if we had for price to come back towards. So I am bearish here, if I'm being honest. It looks bearish to me. You could argue we are in a discount for sure. I'm struggling to find, honestly, the trading range on the 4 hour. Because technically, like, we didn't sweep any buy side here. But I am bearish, so let's see. Okay. Nothing to enter off of there. Alright, we have something here. Above that high, I wouldn't mind that. Target data low. Gotta be careful. Just with, yeah, no, okay, let's at the very least do that. Give it trade some breathing room above that. Well, we don't know if it's gonna be that full fair value gap yet, but give it that breathing room. I think it deserves. So 1 and 2, so partials can be taken. I have to go back here if it did actually. Okay, hopefully it just comes back down so we can, all right, cool. So partials are gonna be taken. 50% of the move. I do believe that's a magnet, so let's continue. Boom, cool. Nice, all right. We have finally won a news day trade, heavy news day trade. Okay, next news event. CPI Wednesday, March 10th. Okay. So the weekly did actually close bearish and broke structure. So now I have a tough, like, you know, monthly, obviously the higher time frame you go, the more respect you have to give it. So I'm respecting the monthly a bit more than I am the weekly right now, and the monthly is showing some heavy bullishness, so I'm being completely honest with you. We're respecting this fair value gap very nicely. This just seems like a magnet. So something, the daily also has now broken structure. So it's tough for me. Like I want to be bullish here. Let me see what CPI did. Clearly CPI was bullish. The way it reacted, I don't know if there was going to be an actual opportunity though for us to enter here. This might be the first news event where our model just isn't there. I mean, we did have the sweep, we had the distribution, but it's like distributed too far now away from anything. I don't really have like an objective at this point where I could be like, oh, okay, that's clear. That's a clear objective. You know, and for me, especially because the bias is a little rough right now. Since that's not 100% for me, and this isn't like the greatest setup of all time, like there's no, like I said, where am I taking this? If it does actually, like, okay, let's say we have the sweep here, we have the distribution, we've distributed a long ways at this point. Where are we headed? Are we headed here? That's a couple points there. Holy hell. I don't know. There's nothing clear. 8:30 data high got taken already. Right, that was clear. There's nothing here for me if I'm being completely honest with you. I could easily see us doing multiple things here. We could come, drop down into a fair value gap for this one or that one and continue higher, and have a real bullish day, right? We maybe come, this would be the next magnet. You also got to remember there is a 4-hour fair value gap that we traded into. So we could do that, or we could really, I mean, just go lower. I don't know. There's nothing really here for me where I'm like 100% certain of. So we're going to leave this day be. And we go lower and then we just consolidate the rest of the day. Awesome. Okay, fair enough. Let's see, next news event. Nothing. FOMC on Wednesday, March 17th. Is there something else too? I don't know what that is. All right. Bang, bang. All right. FOMC today, and then is there anything on this week Monday? Okay. Let's see what we're looking at here. Again, the monthly should be even more bullish than it was before. It continued higher. I like this. Like we swept, even though we did close below and we disrespected order flow, we did like, it is a decent sweep. I could easily see us continuing higher from this point. So I'm open to being a little bit more loose with how I'm gauging the bias on the weekly. And because the monthly is bullish, I can inch towards more bullishness than bearishness on the weekly, right? Because again, it's between either, okay, we're bearish because we broke order flow, we disrespected order flow, we broke structure. But then you also got to look at it from the bullish point of view, which is like, shit, we did do a nice job of sweeping liquidity. We had a bullish candlestick after we swept. Okay, I can see how we could be bullish here, especially because of the monthly being bullish. And we're trading inside of a monthly fair value gap. Fair enough. Traded above here. This is the next, you got this and you got this. These are the next two like magnets here. I'll put this here. Okay. If we're bullish, those are the next two magnets, which I am. Okay, so we gotta wait until news comes out. At 2. Okay. Alrighty. Boy, were we bullish. FOMC printed a big green candle. Did a nice job sweeping, coming back into a higher time frame PD array, respecting that PD array and going higher. I don't see where there's an entry for me here. if I'm being completely honest. Actually, I take that back. I do. It's just tough because now I know I don't want to be like hindsight Harry. But I clicked the hourly, forgetting that, it's a 2-part news event. I went ahead, and I did not mean to go ahead. I'm going to get mean comments for this. And, whatever, rightfully so. But I am just trying to get a gauge of, like, I skipped ahead too far. Let's see if I even would have entered. I don't know. This is not a fair value gap. This is a fair value gap. This is that's the data high. So we actually already took the data high. So that would have been a little bit concerning to me, not having that in our crosshairs for a potential partial, at least. So you know what? I probably wouldn't have taken this anyway. Fuck. I mean, you can make an argument for that, right? This, that. That's partial. Again, you got to understand, there is absolutely something to be said about not going back and doing hindsight shit. I get that. I totally understand it 100%. I had someone comment something on my previous video that I went like this. I did replay to the state. Fair enough. My goal here, though, I've done plenty. I'm not lying to myself here. Okay, by going back in time, being like, oh, I would have taken this, I would have taken that. I've done plenty of backtesting where I have not hit this button, okay? But this is meant for me to try to get a gauge. Like, I can go back here, I can go to dashboard, and I can see what this model produced for me during these news sessions. I'm trying to get a Rolodex of all of the potential trade setups. Now I understand. Now I'm looking at this. Of course, this is going to be a win, okay, in hindsight. I get that. However, I need this in the data, and I should not have clicked too far ahead, but I did. I need this in the data because this is technically a setup for me. The reason being, okay, you can see here, well, let's start on the 4 hour, okay, like I said before, sweep into a higher time frame PD array. We did a nice job of trading inside there, respecting it. If I go to the 1 hour, okay, is this a sweep? No, not really, right? You can argue, well, we closed below the wick. No, I don't count that. It's not a sweep. This is the sweep. And then we continued higher from there. So we got our distribution. This is the distribution candle. This is the data high right here. This is the entry. And then I would target this for partials. And perhaps like this or this would be my final target. I wouldn't be targeting this, even though it has potential to hit that. But realistically, the way I trade, I probably would not be looking for something that far out there. So now that I cleared that up, I'm hitting replay to this date. Sorry, not sorry. I have to put this in my data. This has to be part of the data that I collect here to see how often my model plays out during heavy news events. Okay, that's actually beautiful the way that closed. So now I can take partial there. We'll take 50 off. I'm not going to put my stop to break even at this point. Like, there's probably another point here where, all right, like we took these highs now, so you can argue fair enough. Stop here. Continue to play it out. Beautiful. All right, cool. Sorry for being a hindsight Harry there. I'll try to not let it happen again. Sometimes I click too far ahead. My bad. Again, not lying to myself. By doing that, I simply need it in the data that I collect here. So, that was FOMC. Nothing. Alright, we got a ways to go before. Okay. NFP, Friday, April 2nd. Bang. Alright. Oh, this was the daily. We're already on the daily. Alright. Obviously, monthly is bullish. Weekly, bullish at this point as well. Trading inside here, something to take note of. We are sweeping some buy side here and entering into a CIBI. Wait, what happened? Was this a shortened day or something? Okay. This is NFP on like a shortened day, so we can't entertain that. So we'll just look for the next news event. None of these, right? I think I already clicked it. Okay, CPI, Tuesday, April 13th. Cool. Okay, cool. Bullish again, right? Bullish again. We're bullish on NASDAQ? Wow, that's unheard of. Okay. Didn't sweep anything before we went higher, which is a little unfortunate. I don't think my model is really present here then. It's not, so we'll kind of just sit in the sidelines here. Had we swept and then created this, fair play. Let's maybe look for something if I have a target. The target would be tough now at this point too, though, because we're approaching all-time highs. I mean, this realistically is the only target I can have, and we're fast approaching it, and this would not suffice. Okay, that would not suffice as a risk reward that I'm willing to take. So let's see what it does, but the rest of the day, but I can't really entertain that because I never got a sweep, so my model just is non-existent. What do you know? It continues higher. Okay, so that was CPI. What's your Powell speech? Okay, nothing. Okay, more news. FOMC on Wednesday, April 28th. Alright. Let's go to next session, see what we're dealing with. Weekly, right? We're bullish, right? I'd like to see us take the previous weekly high and then obviously the all-time high right there. We tapped into the fair value gap already. We are consolidating on the daily. And April, by the way, it did it this year too. April seems to be a very, very choppy month usually, and just pretty shitty, like altogether. Like this is a really bad price action, and so the daily doesn't give us much. We have an objective on the weekly. We're bullish on the weekly. We're bullish on the monthly. Daily, we're just kind of sitting here ranging, and I don't have much of a clue what this daily candlestick is going to produce for us, considering we're literally in the midpoint of the range. So I don't know. But let's see, maybe a lower time frame will give us a better idea of where we might want to go. But realistically, we have equal lows here, we have equal highs here. Makes it tough, man. If we come and sweep this, I could see us maybe coming up for hit or for here. I mean, this is not yet internal range liquidity because we haven't swept south side, but okay. Let's not skip ahead this time. 2 o'clock news. All right, so here we are. Do we come lower and take out this low and then go higher, taking out these highs? That would be what I'm looking for. Even though, again, we are ranging on the daily, and genuinely, that makes it tough. It really does. I would say, though, this is... Now, it would be going against my weekly and my monthly bias, but this is the objective at this point. I think this gets hit regardless of us being bullish or bearish. This is a target. If we want to hit this target and then take off from there, or if we want to continue lower from there, whatever, but I think this is a target. I don't... Yes, this is a sweep here. But, you know, maybe a sweep of these highs. Give me something, but okay, cool. I like that. Now targeting the data low. Now, the only thing here, again, going against the weekly and the monthly, sure. Daily doesn't have much of a bias. So realistically, I'm going against my bias here. Something to take note of. But the model is present. I think I have properly... I think I found the next draw. Like, I do think that's the next draw on liquidity. Even though there are equal highs here, you got to be aware of and careful for. But I do believe that's the next draw. Sweep back inside of an order block. Because this is actually technically a range here. I did not realize, well, it is a range, so back inside of the discount, or premium of the range, excuse me. Trading inside of an order block on the range. Inverse fair value gap, fair value gap. There's a lot to this that makes it like viable. Now, as far as an entry, this is the only thing we got. I don't know if it's going to come back for it. This is a 1 to 2, so again, this can be, partials can be taken here. Okay, break even. SL break even, and again, like that is, we're loosening up our A+ / higher probability trades here. We are. I'm trading after FOMC inside of a daily range. This is the result of that. I mean, it really is the result of that. But we broke even, so that's nice. And is this actually going to be the magnet or no? I don't know. Nope, we just kept ranging. These equal highs ended up being the magnet. lines. All right. Friday, May 7th. What was that? Oh, okay. Let's see what we got here. Let's go to the weekly first. Weekly is again respecting this nice fair value gap here, respecting the inverse fair value gap as well. So that's something to take note of. We are bullish, so objective previous weekly high would be the weekly objective. Daily objective is, we'll see. The daily we are bearish on technically, however, we've done a nice job of sweeping. We had a nice reaction off of this higher time frame PD array, which is a daily fair value gap, but also the weekly fair value gap, and a daily inversion fair value gap, also a weekly inversion fair value gap. So we had a nice reaction off of that. I can see some bullishness on the daily that could be approaching here. So bias bullish. Okay, cool. Clearly bullish off of CPI, or not CPI, NFP. I don't think it gives us a setup here, to be honest with you, because this is just a monstrosity of a candle, and it kind of takes every objective that I had off the table. You know, we're trading inside of a daily fair value gap, bearish at this point. Something just to take note of and be aware of. I do believe that higher time frame we are bullish, but you have to respect that we are where we are in price right now. Yeah, I think the move has just been made, honestly. We had a nice sweep into a higher time frame PD array, and then we took off. If I had a cleaner objective, like let's say it came up to here, kept this high, and started trading lower, right? There's something to that. Okay, fair enough. We took that high. This was cleanly, but I don't like it as much. It's just tough, you know. There are equal highs up here, but that's a big reach. We trade. This is the data high. Has not been taken yet. Traded back into the 5-minute fair value gap that was created. We've already traded back into the fair value gap before market even opened, so I can't even. Now it's 9:30. I would need to see distribution on a lower time from here and then get in off of that distribution. So not even this. Okay, so like this, for instance, has this fair value gap been solidified yet? No, but we have this inversion fair value gap that I'd like to trade off of. This. Now, could we do this? Let's find out. Reach for the data highs. Sure. This is actually a respectable trade in my opinion. Something that could play out. And we'll go over it after we enter here, assuming it taps us in. But I think I left enough breathing room for it. Consolidated at our entry for quite some time. Not ideal. Still doing it. Not ideal again. Taking its time. Oh, it's a tough one for me. Like, I want to set my stop loss to break even. I will. Fine, I'll do it. I just feel like this is such a magnet, and if it's gonna It's probably look. It's leaving this. It's gonna take it, but whether it hits this first is its own thing. It hits that first. Watch it. Look, it was just very lethargic after. Look at that, man. Okay, you know what? Never mind. It would have actually ended in a loss. Or maybe a little slight win. It really would have depended. I would have closed it at the end of the day here. That was ugly. Why did we leave that? Ugh. Ugly, ugly, ugly. You know, you can argue somewhere around here, maybe I take at least a partial, right? But that's okay. I mean, realistically, I wasn't targeting anything crazy. The data high there. If I'm sitting here at my desk and I'm seeing these 15-minute candles print and they're printing like this right before my final take profit, something inside of me might have said, all right, let's take some profit here. I'm not going to do that here because I'm not going to say whether or not that would have happened. I can't say that with 100% certainty. What I can tell you with 100% certainty is I would have put my stop loss to break even at that point, at bare minimum. I'm not losing that trade at that point. So that's what I can assure you of. So that's, that is 100% how it would have played out. Whether or not I take partial profit at up there, I don't know. Okay. So just let's look at the dashboard here. Let's go to with heavy news right here. 50% win rate. Total of 8 trades. Started off pretty poorly. A lot of stress, high stress environment during these heavy news events to only make $50 on a $250,000 account. So that's something to take note of. This is interesting. I've never done this before. It's like zooming in for me. I don't know how to get it back to normal. But yeah, 50% win rate, 2 break-even trades. Well, let's look. I think that's wrong, technically. Oh, maybe not. Was it really 2 break-even? So we started off with 3 losses, 2 nice wins in a row, a break even. Yeah. So 1 break even. There was more than 1 break even. Let me quickly go here. I just want to. I swear. Break even here. Break even, right? Shit. Here it is. Yeah, this was partials taken and then break even. Right, that was that rangy price action, yeah. So at least 2 break even, maybe 3. At the end of the day, so far, to me, I haven't been convinced that trading heavy news events with my model is worth it. Could last week, paper trading, winning NFP and FOMC days, could that have been a fluke? I guess. They were very clean setups, I'll give you that. There were very clean setups last week. There were some clean setups within these 8 total trades that I took, but none as clean as what I saw last week on both those news days. So maybe it was just in the space of that year and a half there where I took those trades. I think I traded for around a year and a half. Let's see. I'm sorry. No, I didn't. Maybe it was because we started in 2020, I think. But in the space of these few months here, maybe it was just that, that we weren't given a clean setup. These were wins regardless. So I have not done enough yet to make a final decision on whether or not it is worth trading heavy news events. I'm still trying to get better at, seeing how they operate, FOMC, NFP, CPI. But I am nowhere near close to trading them on a live account. We'll continue to demo trade live when those news events happen, but I'm not putting anything on a live account yet. And we'll continue to backtest and continue with this accumulating setups here or trades here and seeing how we do. So, but that is the first round of just going through and seeing how the model works with heavy news events, the three big ones. So thank you for watching. If you have any comments or any questions, just leave them in the comments, or if you have any critiques of how you think I should have potentially entered or not entered a trade, just let me know. I'll either agree with you or kind of say my reasoning why I did something. So if you're curious, but thank you.